Welcome to the Better Business Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Zelan. Join me week after week as I interview high-level entrepreneurs on their journey to success both in business and personal development. Each week presents new stories to learn from and new ideas on how to run a better business. Stay updated with all the guests we'll have by subscribing to this podcast. Welcome to another episode of Better Business with Austin Zelan. I'm super excited to have our guest here, Dmitry Krasnogor. He's going to share a little bit about his business experience and the things that he's been working on for the last, 17 years, you said, here in Dubai. I'm very excited to hear about it. It's not often that you get to meet somebody that's been so deeply involved in the trenches of business in the UAE. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm very excited to learn more about your story and some of the things that you've been working on. So could we just start out with maybe like a quick story of your background and how you got to where you're at today?
Hi, Austin. Thank you so much for having me. I wish it could be a short story, but 17 years, it's very hard to say as a short story.
Yeah.
To start with, I moved here exactly as soon as I graduated from university. My father, he used to be a consul general of Russia in Dubai. So that's how I got a little bit of my connections and network in UAE. And I keep, working with this network all the time. I think it's the biggest and the most important part of my life. It was a lot of ups and downs, to be honest, because my as I understand, my family comes from the political background, diplomacy. And my zero experience in business obviously had a decent impact on my life. So two times roughly I was a bankrupt. About 3 or 4 different ventures never started. I mean, it started but never succeeded.
So you're a real entrepreneur.
Yes, I made a lot of mistakes, good or bad, but now we have a group of companies. Me, my wife, and have another partner, managing partner, Alex. So what we do business consultancy, but normal one, not like just open a company and halas masalama, do whatever you want. We help people to actually penetrate the market, to do the business planning, financial modeling, marketing strategies, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we have a real estate company that's very Russian, to be honest now, taking into account all the things what's happening. We have a small event management thing. That's how actually we met with Andrei, and I'm also trying to assist him a little bit. And we're now working on one very interesting venture called No Wood. It's actually a factory for production of a small outdoor furniture from recycled material. So we're using recycled plastic and sand only. So it's like really cool. And my wife, she has her own venture that, we're partners there, but we're not allowed to touch it. It's for personal branding. So she's creating an agency that's doing a personal branding using all these AI technologies, innovative technologies, all the things. And I believe she's also doing a marketplace right now for that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And to come to this story, it really took me about 17 years. No, I would say not 17 years. It was about, 12 years of different experiences.
Yeah.
And even had an amazing experience being in Africa where we lost a decent amount of money. So now I try not to work with Africa anymore, but I still have a lot of friends there who actually helped me in that situation. But this is briefly what we're doing and what actually happening right now with us about the business stuff in Dubai.
Mm-hmm. And so out of these companies, which one is your main business?
I would say our bread and butter is consultancy at the end of the day, but now real estate is picking up. For us, because the problem is we started the company, my wife, she has a real estate company in Russia. And because of, all these things, what was happening, a lot of her Russian clients were moving to Dubai. And we referred them to another agencies. And then all of a sudden, I just made a small calculation that, listen, we're getting, 20-30% from these agencies where we can make 100%.
Yeah.
So I was begging her to actually open a real estate company. So we did that. But the problem is, it's a good also experience. We took a guy as a managing partner with the real estate brokerage experience. And the problem is, I never thought in my life that it's so complicated to grow a manager out of broker. So he was continuing brokering all his life. And when he came to the company, he hired 10 different people, 0 sales within 6 months, just going to different presentations of these new projects, nothing moved at all. So we said bye-bye. A half year, the company was not doing anything. Then another guy joined. He seems to be, hungry a little bit, and he seems to be very enthusiastic about the project.
Yeah.
But the lack of UI experience, I believe, couldn't allow him to work properly. And me and personally, and my wife, we didn't want to be involved in that business because I used to be a real estate agent in Dubai. I would say 5 years ago, no more, 7 or 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 2014 it was, 10 years ago. And I didn't want to go into that business anymore. And she was fed up with the Russian client, and she was so happy about her baby, this innovative identity company.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to be involved as well. And now we have amazing couple of Polish guys. They're so much cool. They're really picking up the company for us, and a lot of new deals are coming. So I'm happy. So I believe that in a very soon, in a very nearest time, the actual real estate company will be generating much more profit. But my favorite project that we're working on is No Wood, the factory, because I truly believe that all these things, the most important is either the production, when you do the production of something or manufacturing of something, because then you can control the whole process of sales, starting from the production to actually working with the clients, expansion, and all these things. So this is the project that I'm working on.
Yeah. Interesting. And so when you're bringing on these partners, like you talked about in the real estate, you have these Polish guys, like, are you just giving them equity in the business or equity in the company, or are you putting them on salary?
All the time with any kind of a business, even including the SBN group, the current one, our partner, managing partner, Alex, I always agree with the people that we need to reach a certain level of revenue that I'm happy with. So once we reach that level that I'm generating, so we can gradually decrease my shares and give it to the partner. What I'm trying to say, like, for example, if I want to make $100,000 and the company is currently making $100,000, I don't want to bring the partner and start getting $50,000. So he needs to reach the level when it's going to be 150. Then, okay, he takes 50, I take 100. If he reach the level of 100, then we can become 50% partners. So the same we did right now in real estate. So we also discussed with them, like, we want you to be partners. We want you to make money. We want you to be 50-50 with us. We want you to handle everything. But before giving you any equity, we want you to show the results. And only after that, I mean, obviously in all over the world, it's better to have this kind of option agreement.
Yeah.
I think in UAE, it's not very much workable thing. So here you really have either to trust the people from the very beginning, that I don't usually, or you have to wait to certain results from their side, and then you just transfer the shares to them.
Interesting. And so they're not getting paid any salary or anything at the beginning?
No, they're getting straight away commission. And the real estate business is not about salary. Right now, I have a lot of, I'm vice president of one Russian business club here, the branch of it here in UAE. And we have a lot of people there who are related to real estate. And we spent a fortune on trying to find the lead generation thing for the real estate, and it doesn't worth it at all. Like, it's huge investments and zero outcome. Yeah. So I just called them and said, listen, how do you generate the traffic? How do you make the leads? How do you get the leads? And all of them replied exactly the same thing. So they are paying 90% commission to the brokers, and 10% the company is taking, and the brokers should be handling the leads themselves. They should bring the leads to the company. Yeah. And the problem is right now, not the problem, but right now a lot of companies who are trying to compete on the market in terms of grabbing the brokers, there are companies that are already funding. When you're selling the off plan, you are usually getting paid from the developer within 1 month, usually, not more than that. So most of the brokers, they want their money now or yesterday. So a lot of companies, they already agreed to fund the brokers before the commission comes from the developer. But it's a super extreme thing because it could be delayed. I know the companies that are not paid for a few months already, and they paid from their own pocket, and there is a huge gap in cash in their company right now. Yeah. But some of the companies right now, they're almost funding the full commission to the broker in advance. And it's really hard to compete. Like, you need to have a bunch of cash lying in your pocket to fund your broker. So I don't know. So for us, it's better, to do it on a commission basis. So they still generate their commission. Once they reach a certain level, they become partners, and they're getting commission from every single broker that's going to be in the company.
Yeah, definitely. No, that makes sense. And so what inspired you to get into these industries? I mean, they're so different. You know, you have the no wood company, you have the real estate company, you have the consultancy. What inspired you to do that?
It's cool story and very easy to say. First of all, the consultancy business, I was more or less involved from the day when I came to Dubai. The reason for that is my father, and I'm proud of that he's super ethical person. So even though with his powers being a consul general, like I'm not sure if you know, but the consul general, he's equal to the position of minister. So when he's here, his name is His Excellency, and he can reach any level of the officials here in UAE. So obviously, being in that position, he was getting a lot of requests from different people from Russia or local to give a certain level of favors or helping to do something. And because he's super ethical to his profession, he never accepted that. So what I did, I said, okay, let me help you. I don't know the market, but I can try to help you to do that. So I started helping, more and to know more about the country, how does it work, where to go, where the right people to talk to. So this is how consultancy started. Mm-hmm. And again, I've been in consultancy almost 15 years, I would say. I mean, more or less related, because at some point back in 2018, 19, we shut down the company with another partner. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't doing any consultancy for about 2 or 3 years. And then I restarted it in August, again, because of the situation what was happening. The real estate, as I explained you, it was very easy because my wife was having a real estate in Russia and we didn't want to lose the money. So now I don't want to throw it away because I can see that there is a good potential there and we can make money there. So let it work. But No Wood story is an amazing story. We wanted to grow the business and to scale it up. And I spoke to a friend of mine who used to be working in BCG for many years. Now he has amazing business. He is the largest official, he is the largest illegal manufacturer in Europe of cannabis.
Well.
Yeah. So I said, listen, you have such an amazing experience in BCG and I want to scale up the business. So why don't you become a partner in our company here? Mm-hmm. Like give some investments, we'll do a nice scale up and you can also guide us in terms of your knowledge. And when he was in Dubai, he told me a very interesting thing that I never thought about. He said, Dmitry, listen, when you're a consultant, you have consultancy business. Even if you generate profit of $1 billion and you have another guy who is doing manufacturing, I don't know, production or something that's generating $1 billion, you are still going to be considered as a servant. And I started thinking like, okay, a friend of mine, like we're equal with him and he became my client. For him, it's normal to call me 10 at night and like, I want something, sorted out. Please help me to sort it out. And it's like business things, not like personal things.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that really people, even again, whatever is your wealth, people would still consider you when you're a service as a servant to him. So you're not going to be equal in terms of, kind of position. So I said, okay, what do you recommend me to do? I said, you have to do the kind of, I don't know, in industrial stuff, manufacturing, whatever, but think about it. So I came back to my partner, Alex, and listen, like, let's do so. And it's really triggered me. Like, what the hell? I'm doing money and really people are not, not treating me the right way. And I want to be equal with them. So I came to my partner and said, Alex, let's do something. And he had already a project before when he moved to Dubai 2 years ago for this kind of product. But unfortunately, they couldn't deliver with his partner. Something went wrong in Russia. And they had zero experience in UAE. So once we did some kind of market checkup. We went to different municipalities. We went to different developers. We received a huge feedback from them, like basically already standing with the money, like, guys, why do you want us to pay? And they said, build the facility, solve the production. Once we have it, you can get the LOIs from our side and you can work it out. And then I realized that this could be an amazing product for Africa, for Asia, because the plastic is all over the world and people want to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So that's why we decided to go ahead with this one. And event management, it's the easiest thing. When we were working on lead generation tactics and strategies, we thought that one of the best ideas is actually to have your own event where you can promote your brand. So what actually happened, we created a concept called Business in Bricks, SBN Forum Business in Bricks. But unfortunately or fortunately, we were asked by the Russian government to help them a little bit with their own event that was two weeks prior to our event. And then I realized that if we're going to be switching, or not switching actually, asking our current speakers to speak at their event and then come to our event in 2 weeks' time, and topics might be similar, I thought we could, lose a lot of potential speakers in our event. And because, helping the government, it's much more important sometimes than the money. So we postponed our event. And then it was summertime, not a lot of work. And we had, possibility to do our homework. And we realized that actually the event management stuff is not so profitable. Mm-hmm. We're getting a brand awareness through partnership with this event called the World of Opportunities. That's going to be actually mid of November. And we made it together in April this year. Now we're doing it in November this year. It doesn't cost us too much because we're only investing to bring our speakers, to bring the guests, and we do the pre-party for the event. So we're still getting that brand awareness, but we have zero risk. Mm-hmm. So we don't need to run after sponsors. We don't need to run after the tickets. We just need to deliver a good result for the event. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's a great point. I've gotten a lot of traction with events as well myself. I've hosted them everywhere, all over the US, and we've done international events, and it's a great way to get brand awareness, like you said. But there's also something special to being a partner in an event or just a speaker or something like that, because if you can help facilitate some of that, you kind of get the same effect really when it comes to brand awareness and stuff like that. So very, very interesting stuff. And so as you were on this journey of developing your business and starting these different companies, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you faced and how did you overcome them?
It's a very interesting question because, to be honest, it's really hard to say which obstacles are really coming, on a daily basis. I think the most complicated thing is actually staff, is the people that you're working with, because finding the right people who really want to work with you or who really understand how to work. There is a nice Russian guy, Pavel. He has his own coaching session for the HR people, like, how to hire the people, how to motivate them. Mm-hmm. And I know him and I like only I never went to his coaching classes, to be honest, but what I like, he differentiates people for 3 different categories. Mm-hmm. It's 0.8%, 1%, and 1.2%. So 1% is actually the guy who came to work. He has his own task. He completed his own task. He said, thank you so much, masalama, I went home. So the guy 0.8 is like he's listening to you, but he's not proactive. Sometimes he's delaying the stuff, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. But 1.2 guy is the guy who is actually did his own tasks. He is proactive. He's offering some kind of extra services. He's trying to help. He's trying to be involved. He wants to grow in the company. So finding that kind of people is super complicated. But these are the only people that can really help to grow your business. Yeah. So what we're doing now, if, for example, one of the guys, he wanted to become a personal assistant to us. We interviewed him, but I realized he won't be able to be a personal assistant because he doesn't know the market yet. He's been very new on the market in UAE. Mm-hmm. But his speaking skills are so amazing that he might be a good consultant for the company. So instead of, kicking him out, we told him, why don't you try to be a consultant, a salesperson? He said, I never was selling anything in my life. He said, you don't need to sell anything in your life. You just need to be able to talk properly to the client, and then everything is going to be sold automatically. The most important thing that people think that you really need to have kind of sales skills. It's possible from one point of view, but in general, it's not something extraordinary. You don't need to cheat. Some of the developers, they're pushing their stuff, to talk to a client, not in a very transparent way, trying to convince them. Yeah. I believe that sometimes if you don't say extra stuff, but it's true. You don't say any lies to the guys. It's fine. But when you are hiding something, this is not something right. So the main thing about sales is to be professional, to know how you talk. And the most important, again, for me, the most important is how the people talking to you, because this is the thing. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we're meeting a lot of people, we're trying, to talk to people all the time, to bring new and new blood. And even in our company, where from time to time we're changing people because we don't understand. Like, for example, this girl, she was working with us for 2 years. We cannot offer her anything extra, to grow higher. Maybe because of that, she's not so motivated anymore. So we'll say, okay, thank you so much. Like, why don't you look for another opportunities? And we bring someone new who is going to be hungry, who can, get special results, who can reach certain level. I think this is the biggest obstacles that we're coming across.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And so how do you attract this talent that you're talking about? So you have obviously a successful team. You have people that want to work for you and they want to continue growing your organization. These 1.2 people. How do you attract these people to your organization?
As I told you, as soon as we get any kind of interesting CVs, like all the time, someone posting on the groups, like I have a very interesting guy, or I have a young guy who want to join, like, or I have someone.
So it's kind of through your network.
It's mainly from the network, some recommendations, or for example, when we start looking for the people, like we really need to find someone for the new position, or we need to change someone. We just collect all these CVs and keep talking to people all the time. Just to get to know them, because this is the only way you can understand. And even sometimes, it's better just to give it a try. So for example, we give people a try, like to work 1 month to see how they're going to be results. If we like it, we then give them an offer, like a proper one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so kind of like a trial offer first.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, in today's environment, we have so many different things that are changing and new technology and stuff like that. How do you stay up to date on industry trends?
Oh, this is the most complicated thing for me, because I always ask people how they work with these kind of things. Like, do they afraid that at certain level the artificial intelligence will take over our places, will take over our businesses, or will take over the world, as we know in Terminator? A lot of people, they say, yes, it's possible, or maybe not as possible. It's not possible. I don't know, to be honest. For us, we're using AI a lot because, it's very easy. And the funny thing is, I swear, it was really funny. I wanted to use ChatGPT just to give a technical task to my staff. I didn't want, because sometimes when you do a voice message, it's not really clear. So I want to give a voice message first to ChatGPT so he can create a nice technical task for the team, and I just send it. So what he did, because I need to give some understanding to the staff about a commercial offer that he needs to do. So I said, okay, please write down a commercial offer for la 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 la, and give details about what I got from the client. So what ChatGPT did, he actually created a commercial offer. He wrote down a commercial offer. It was very close to the reality. Yes, it wasn't exact, but it was very close to the reality. So I realized that sometimes, it's maybe you can just give a task to ChatGPT and he can do everything for you. Mm-hmm. So how we're using it? We're using it for communication. We're using it definitely for researches. We're using it definitely for social networks, 100%, because it saves a lot of time. Mm-hmm. About other stuff, unfortunately, because we're living in a world when everything changes so fast, we have to deal with a lot of free zones and government entities, and sometimes the artificial intelligence cannot be updated at that point. So we cannot use a lot of artificial intelligence in our life. But of course, we're using a lot of CRMs, and I like how it's being done. We're using a lot of Zooming stuff, because it's, talking to the clients, all of them are located in other countries most of the time. So yeah, that's all, I believe.
Interesting. And so with all these new technologies that you're using and like different things that you're developing, how do you make sure that your products or services are always exceeding customers' expectations?
It's a very good question. The first thing I believe is you have to understand what he's really expecting from you, because sometimes, and we're working a lot with the Russians, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. But to my point of view, Russians are very specific in terms of what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. So even right now, for example, we have one UK client, and when we explained him that something happened in the immigration system and there is a possibility that something will go wrong in terms of the visa going to be delayed and he cannot fly, I can see his normal reactions saying like, yeah, okay, but it happened, that's okay, no problem, give me a solution, what I can do, etc. When you're doing the same with the Russians, they're like, okay, in the agreement you wrote down 10 days. I said, yeah, 10 days, but like this is a force majeure. It's not something like related to us. No, but it says 10 days. Like, why you promised me 10 days? I need my bank account tomorrow. I said, listen, first of all, I have a Russian passport, and the banks, they still have more deep compliance on you and deep KYCs. Moreover, there are some stuff that is not related to our work that we cannot manage. So what we're doing first is really we're getting the expectations from the client. Then we're trying to increase the possible timings, the possible things that like to make sure that if we do it faster, he is happy. So the most important, I believe, in our work, especially consultancy business, is to make it faster, to make it at a higher level, and to give a support to the client at all the time when he's with you. So this is the most important thing. And when you really know what he wants from you, and I think it's very important because a lot of consultants and businesses, they don't really go into details what he is looking for. And but I think it's not only customers. I think it's everybody. Sometimes we think that we're talking the same language, and we do understand that you already know what I know, what I want from you, and we assume that you already understood my requirements. And most of the time, it's not right. Like it could be absolutely different. So I always tell our consultant, like, go deeply into details. Try to get as much as possible what he is looking for, and only after that you can, exceed his expectations.
Yeah, definitely. I think that plays such an important role, is like really hearing the client and where they're at and what they see it as, because like that communication right there, it's like you're telling them one thing and they say yes, but they don't even understand what you're talking about. So it's important to know what they're expecting so that you can exceed their expectations. And so obviously as business owners, we're faced with so many different tasks and stuff like that throughout our day. Keeps us very, very busy. So how do you manage your tasks and prioritize the right things at the beginning of the day?
First of all, and I said exactly the same to my assistant about that, there are 3 different tasks, to be honest. The first is, I call it type A, is the most important task, is the task that can generate money, and the task that because of which you can lose the money. So these are the 2 tasks this is the one task, but this kind of task should be managed as a priority in any way. The second type of task is actually something that can increase the efficiency of your company or can do an additional network or something like that. So it's task type B. And type C is the least important one, is actually some administrative job. And I really try to engage my assistant more on that kind of task so he can do everything backed up from that end. And to be honest, I'm not a structural person at all. So that's the reason we are very good. We have a very good synergy with my partner, Alex, because he's super structural guy. He comes from the corporate business and he has such a deep knowledge in terms of corporate culture and all these structures inside. And I'm the guy who is selling, who is talking, who is networking. And that's why I'm trying to delegate as maximum as possible and to keep on myself on the sales, business development, networking, all these kind of things.
And so how do you manage your work-life balance if you've got so many different things that you're working on?
As I told you, for me, it's very easy. First of all, the UAE market, I'm not sure, to be honest, how does it work in US or in Europe. I think in Europe, very similar. And I think in Europe, it's even more from the legal framework. Here, most of the people, they don't really work after 7. I mean, they can go for the kind of networking business events. They can go for dinners, lunches. So it's going to be kind of very, very free type of a meeting, not something really push you into work. So after 7, I really try to spend time with my wife, with my family, with my friends probably. In the morning, I always do my sports. So usually evening is not for the sports. So before work, I'm a huge fan of paddle. So 2 hours of paddle every morning for me is the most important part. I come to office usually around 11:30, depends on the day. So before 6, almost most of the tasks are done. And the good thing that, as I told you, we work a lot with Russia. So Russia is 1 hour behind us. So when I come at office at 11, Russia is 10. So just starting the work day in Russia. So we have plenty of time to complete all the tasks. And I think what people are saying, you really have to like what you're doing. Even though I don't believe that if you like what you're doing, you're not getting overheated, you are getting overheated sometimes. And you have to, to go and relax and forget about. Now, for example, now I'm dreaming like 1 week to cut off my phone, just throw it in the bathroom, in the swimming pool, and don't hear it for 1 week. But I don't think I can do it earlier than probably winter time or something like that.
Yeah.
But in general, if you like what you're doing, you're not getting too much, stressed out, etc. And also very important thing for me that my wife, she really wants to work as well. So she understands, like if I'm doing something on the phone with the extra hours, or if she's doing something on the phone, we understand each other and we support each other. So there is no scandals like, you're not spending time with me. Sometimes, yeah, we feel sorry that we're not spending enough time with each other, so we can put the phones away and don't even touch it. But in general, I believe that some wives that are not doing anything at all apart from the family things, it's complicated for them to understand that the husband came to home and he still needs to finalize some tasks that he couldn't complete during the daytime. It could be an issue, but in our case scenario, it's very easy to handle.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. So as we wrap up here, I have one final question for you. What is one investment? It might be time, it might be money or resources that has paid off significantly in your business.
I think the investment in my network. This is the most valuable thing that I have in UAE, especially in Dubai. I mean, I can honorably say that. I can say honorably, yeah. I can honorably say that I know a lot of members from the ruling family. I know a lot of ministers personally. I know a lot of top CEOs of the local huge companies, and it really helps a lot in terms of my work, in terms of my network, and I think another also important investment is reputation. And so as I told you, yes, you have to be transparent. You have to exceed the expectations of your client. You have to deliver. And for example, we had one client that was not happy with the first initial stage of our services that we assisted him. But then because it was managed by us, he wasn't happy. He didn't want to go through us. I said, okay, we will do it for you. We'll do it at a certain discount, etc., etc. So he came to us for the second service at the later stage, and we completed it in such an ideal way. So he wrote me a huge message saying like, thank you so much for helping in services. And like, I really read it and I was so much happy because I mean, my reputation was suffering because he didn't get his level of service from the very beginning, but then we over delivered what he was expecting, and he came on, and he even wrote us a report. He even on the Google he put us a good feedback as well. So I'm happy.
Awesome, cool. Well, as we wrap up here, are there any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
Depends what your followers and listeners are looking for, but I can just give a small advice. If you're coming to UAE, you have to understand that UAE is a combination of Western and Eastern mentality, 100%. You cannot expect here a European approach in business, but also you will not get a pure Arab approach in business. So it's going to be balancing between two cultures. And if you don't understand that, it's going to be very hard to work in this country.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me here today and sharing your wisdom and insights in business and all the things that you've got going on. Thank you guys all for tuning in. This is another episode of Better Business with Austin Zelan, and we'll see you all next time.